Hello again. So we want to talk about walnut pruning and June-budded walnuts and some other things. So in this orchard, which is a production orchard that Sierra Gold Nurseries has planted and owns for our own production, there's a couple trials going on here. What we have here is full row trials of Chandler on all three major clonal rootstocks: Latch, RX1, and VX211. So every 2 rows is Chandler. There's 2 rows of Chandler on VX211, 2 rows of Chandler on Latch, 2 rows of RX1, and repeat. So we can take yield data from the center of the row between the 2 trees, and we like trials that are 20 acres, not 12 trees. So when you can do it, when you've got the space, and we're so confident this is pretty good soil, and we're so confident about all 3 of those clones, we don't think any of them are going to be inferior, but we want to see if on this site we can actually distinguish one above the others for some reason. So that's the large trial here. What we're also doing, not so much on a trial basis, but it is new, is that we're going to go with no pruning whatsoever. Because of that, we've planted a little closer. Even though this is class 1 soil, but just barely class 1, we planted these 22 by 16. We're not going to prune them, so they're going to come into yield earlier. They're not going to fill the space quite as quickly. So we take advantage of that by just putting trees closer. When you prune a walnut tree, you remove fruiting wood and you force the canopy out, and then the fruiting wood is established there. The data shows that that's all you do. You don't actually make the tree grow anymore. You don't create more fruit wood. You simply move it further out the tree and delay fruiting. But in delaying fruiting, the tree grows because it puts some energy into wood rather than fruit. But all the studies to date have shown that pruning a walnut tree does not in any way actually increase its growth rate or make it larger at any time, if you're looking at caliper of the trunk and overall biomass. All the data suggests very strongly that, in fact, not pruning a walnut tree actually gets the largest tree the quickest. Whether you're looking at 2nd leaf or 5th leaf or 8th leaf, if you don't touch a walnut tree, it will actually be bigger. Does that mean you shouldn't prune them? Not necessarily, but it's an interesting concept that a lot of people are talking about. So we're going to do it here and see what we come up with. So for one more data point for the grower community. In this case, we've done a couple things that are very unusual here, but it seems to be working pretty well. This tree is going into its 2nd leaf. And if Melissa pans down, you can see things are pretty much the same size. They don't all look the same, but they all have about the same size. So that tree, as well as all the trees here, were planted as an unheaded June-budded walnut. So when this tree was planted, it was a 1-year tree grown as a June bud, and it was about, well, that was exactly how tall it was. So it was about probably a 5/8 inch caliper tree. It was a good growing season, so we were able to get trees that tall. We simply planted it. At first, we didn't stake them because we thought we might not have to, and we let it go. And away it grew. Now you can see we've done some serious pruning cuts here because we took nothing off during the growing season. Cut here, large cut here, here, basically up to what we feel is shaker height. And then we'll leave this to do whatever it's going to do this year. What we anticipate is all branches will put out spurs and put on some nuts, and we'll get extension growth as well, especially since we have some reserves in the sense that we have a lot of root system that is serving less up top. And most of the trees had significant growth down low that we were able to take off. So when we say no pruning, yeah, we have to have a trunk, we have to be able to shake it. And the fact that there was nice big wood down low that we can remove means more root system to continue to push the growth up top. Our experience is a tree like this will come quickly back into balance. Sure, there's more growth on this side. What we've seen from no prune is that the tree will naturally put on more growth now on this side, and it'll become a more balanced, uniform tree. It's just what trees naturally do. So we're pretty happy that this is a tree that's been in the ground almost exactly 1 year to the day as of right now I think about it. And we've already established scaffolds. So basic logic tells me we're going to be into production a year earlier here because we're at a point in the first year, at the end of the first year, where most growers are at the end of the second year. So let's see how this goes with the no pruning. I think we definitely established that on decent dirt with good trees, pretty good growing conditions, we're good growers, not great growers. We actually can put branches on the tree the first year. So if we look down, you'll see pretty good growth. And we'll check in periodically and see how things look. Thank you.